This is News 3 Now at 10.
First tonight, 2 active silver alerts in southern Wisconsin. In Madison, 83-year-old Mary Schrader was last seen around 11:30 this morning. She is missing from the 3400 block of Stevens Street on the west side and may be headed to Wausau. She's driving a 2010 white Subaru Impreza with Wisconsin license plates 839 HYH.
And in Janesville, another silver alert. 76-year-old Kathleen Truman was last seen around 1:45 this afternoon at Smokers World on Milwaukee Street. Police believe she does have dementia. She was last seen driving her black 2015 Dodge Caravan, Wisconsin plate 331GUR. If you have information about either of these cases, you are asked to call police. The Madison Metropolitan School District will be planning a new school year without school resource officers.
This comes after the Board of Education voted unanimously this afternoon to end the district's contract with the Madison Police Department. Madeline O'Neill tells us why and where the district goes from here.
Well, the vote happened in a special session to address the district's school resource officers contract this afternoon. Board members say recent protests have highlighted an immediate need for change.
We have voted unanimously to terminate the contract.
The decision comes after reflections from MMSD board members.
African American students have been exposed to the harshest punishments available to our community over and over and over again.
Right now, the institution of policing is incompatible with, and in fact, in direct contradiction into what we hope to create for learning environments for our Black students.
Activists from Freedom Inc. have been advocating to remove police from schools for years. And now their rally cry has been strengthened during recent protests.
And now is the time for all institutions to take a hard look at what they do and how they do it, and how they feed into the racist practices.
In Monday's special session, MMSD Board President Gloria Reyes, who supported the SROs and was a police officer herself, said there comes a time when a leader should listen to the will of the people.
Since George Floyd's murder and the continued demands to remove school resource officers, I've had to put aside my own personal and professional views.
Interim Madison Police Chief Vic Wall writes in a statement that the officers played a positive instrumental role in safety, saying, quote, "It's disappointing that the program appears to be ending without recognition of the real work that the SROs have done or understanding of the consequences that will follow their removal from schools."
Before we close out for...
Board members say next on the agenda is discussing what the future will look like.
We must come together now to find a way to reimagine what safety and security looks like in our schools for the benefit of all of our students.
Board members spoke about how to plan for security alternatives in the new school year, including the possibility of setting up a security and safety committee.
Maddie, thank you. The 4 former Minneapolis officers charged in the death of George Floyd had pretrial hearings today. Derek Chauvin, charged with second-degree murder in Floyd's death, appeared remotely by video. The other 3, each charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and manslaughter, they all appeared in person. The judge said the court is aiming for another hearing in September and a trial date of March 8th. 2 of the 3 men arrested in connection with recent extortion crimes against Madison business owners were in Dane County Court today. Greg James Jr. and William T. Shanley both appeared virtually and were given signature bonds. James is charged with threats to injure, party to a crime, and disorderly conduct. Shanley is charged with party to a crime of threats to injure. Madison police say the 2 demanded free food and drinks in return for not having businesses destroyed by protesters.
Heavy rain this afternoon across the viewing area, in some places dumping more than 2 inches, leading to several reports of localized flooding. And now we're keeping an eye on the heat and humidity for the next few days. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti is in the Weather Center with our first WARN forecast. Gary?
A lot of times those 2 things go hand in hand. You have high humidity, you can get big thunderstorms that dump heavy amounts of rain. We saw that this afternoon, but it was more localized. It was basically from Madison southward into northern Illinois and eastward toward Milwaukee. You can see radar estimates of anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain from Madison, the west side of Madison, into northern Greene County, east of New Glarus, and then over toward Janesville. But a wider radar perspective shows that there are areas north and west of Madison that didn't even get a drop of rain today. So it's going to be that hit and miss type situation over the next couple of days. And you can see what's left of those thunderstorms, they're dying out very quickly across Lake Michigan and down into northern Illinois. Meantime, other storms north of the Twin Cities should stay to the north overnight. High temperatures were We're almost at 90 here in Madison. We hit 88 before the storms hit early this afternoon. Janesville did hit 90 degrees. Temperatures have held nearly steady in the lower to middle 70s through the weekend or through the evening hours. But you can see dew point temperatures have dropped a little bit here in Madison, but they're still very high in the lower 70s out to the west. And look for another very warm and humid day tomorrow with a high of around 88. There is a chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon, probably not as widespread as what we saw today. The rain chances go down, the temperatures go up as we head toward the holiday weekend. Alert days are in the forecast. I'll have more details and weather in a few minutes.
The rain didn't just hit southern Wisconsin. We're seeing video from the Baldwin area where a flooding death was reported this morning. The St. Croix County Sheriff's Department says a vehicle drove into a flooded area and became submerged.
They were unable to get to it immediately. When they did finally get to it, there was a gentleman inside, a 70-year-old gentleman, that they pulled from the vehicle. CPR was administered, life-saving efforts were performed. He was transported to Baldwin Hospital, and there he was pronounced deceased.
There were also several water rescues and evacuations today due to the rushing water. Meteorologists say parts of the area received more than 8 inches of rain. And a reminder for all of your local weather alerts and forecasts on the go, download our channel3000.com First Warn weather app. It is free right now in your app store.
New tonight, a federal appeals court panel has upheld Wisconsin's voter ID restrictions. Now, this lawsuit has made its way through the courts for years now. Back in 2016, federal judges in Madison and Milwaukee found most of the restrictions were unconstitutional and discriminate against the poor and racial minorities. But today, a 7th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld most of the restrictions, marking a win for conservatives just months ahead of the November presidential election. The body of a 9-year-old girl who was swept into the Rock River in Janesville last week has been located. It was discovered by a boater almost a mile downstream from where she went under on Thursday. Over the past several days, crews shut down the Indianford Dam to help the search in a portion of the river that is particularly dangerous. And in Stoughton, crews are continuing to look for a 59-year-old man in Lake Kagonza. Dane County deputies say Saturday that a man wearing black pants, no shirt, jumped off a boat shortly after 7 o'clock. Officials are now calling it a recovery mission. The Janesville Police Department is releasing the findings of an internal review of an officer-involved shooting that happened back in March.
Sir, drop the knife, please. I want to help you. Please.
This is the body camera footage from the incident after an Oklahoma man drove his trailer off I-3990 near Highway 14. He got out of the vehicle and had a knife to his neck. The investigation revealed the officers asked him to drop the knife 31 times, stop 11 times, and sit down 9 times before he was shot. They also tried less lethal options, but they were not effective. The officer was cleared of any wrongdoing by the district attorney back in April. The man survived.
There were more than 400 new cases of coronavirus confirmed across Wisconsin today. And for a second day in a row, there were no reported deaths. The 2-week trend continues to stay in an upward trajectory. 5.3% of new tests came back positive today, down from a spike at 7% yesterday. And a new metric put out today by DHS shows about 30% of Wisconsin counties are experiencing a high level of COVID-19 activity, including several in the southern and central parts of the state. UW health experts say they are concerned about the trend, with more than 500 new cases in Dane County over the last week. They say as the summer weather settles in and the 4th of July approaches, parties, family gatherings, and vacations can have a high risk for spreading the virus.
Diseases like COVID-19, if replicating quickly, they can reach this exponential curve where we could quickly get out of control in our ability to either contact trace these, or if we started seeing more severe illness, keep up with patients who required hospitalization for their disease. So it's really concerning that our numbers are frankly getting a little bit out of control right now.
Experts are reminding people to do the simple things: social distance, wear masks, wash hands, and stay home if possible. And they say that also goes for younger people, with half of the new cases in the county coming from people ages 20 to 29.
A lifeguard at the Mount Horeb Family Aquatic Center has tested positive. That happened over the weekend, causing the pool to close indefinitely, according to a Facebook post. The lifeguard first was tested on Wednesday. His results came back negative, but after getting a second time, the positive result came back on Saturday. According to the post, the lifeguard last worked on Wednesday and on Friday. And the Wisconsin National Guard says more than 34,000 tests have now been collected at the Alliant Energy Center's community testing site. Long lines have been reported there recently. The Guard says the site typically is open Monday through Saturday, but will be closed Saturday for Independence Day.
The coronavirus has now claimed over 500,000 lives around the world, more than a quarter of them here in the United States. 6 months into the pandemic, experts say the virus appears to be speeding up instead of slowing down. Chris Martinez reports.
Surging coronavirus infections are prompting officials across the country to rethink their reopening plans.
We do not wish to see New Jersey experience a similar spike.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said the state was hitting pause on allowing indoor dining in restaurants. Expected to resume Thursday, it's now postponed indefinitely.
We're seeing really pretty substantial increases in cases.
At least 32 states are now dealing with soaring numbers of coronavirus cases and hospitalizations.
The rate of acceleration is extreme. We're seeing a daily dramatic increase, almost a vertical slope.
The hardest hit states include Florida, Texas, Arizona, and California. Each is taking steps to limit public gatherings, ordering bars to shut down, and placing new restrictions on gyms, theaters, and even beaches.
Many people were not necessarily being as responsible as they otherwise, as we would like them to be.
New York had been the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak. Its governor says a coordinated federal response is overdue.
The president can do two things. First, sign an executive order directing everyone to wear a mask.
It's been 6 months since the World Health Organization first received reports of unusual pneumonia cases in Wuhan, China. On Monday, its director general said, quote, "The hard reality is this is not even close to being over." Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The World Health Organization says the challenge most countries now face is learning how to coexist with the coronavirus until a vaccine is ready and available.
As other states put some restrictions back in place, it appears Wisconsin will not be doing the same. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says he does not support shutting down businesses again or mandating masks. In a statement today, he said, quote, "It is clear from the actions of Milwaukee and Madison that the responses will be regional. Bars and restaurants should follow the safe practices put forward by WEDC to ensure that they can maintain proper social distancing." Last week, Dane County modified its order to better respond to common threats in the health department seeing in contact tracing interviews. We reached out to the governor to see if his administration is planning anything, but they did not respond to our questions.
Still to come tonight, your full forecast for the week ahead, preparing for more hot and humid weather. But first, if you're looking to sell your home, now may be a good time. We'll tell you why next.
At Papa Murphy's, we knead seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Let's summer. Let's dine out by truly dining out. Let's send smoke signals to the neighbors, then serve up the freshest of food with a side of fresh air. Let's raise our tongues to tasty by introducing our grills to new thrills and make mouths water more than a backyard slip and slide. Let's live a little more by having another s'more. Because summer is here, and no one does summer like festival foods.
You may not know them. The coffee shop owner who knows your order. The couple who saves your seats. Family down the street who greets you with a smile. They've been there for you. Now you can be there for them. Donate today and help our friends and neighbors keep their power on.
From a checkup to an emergency visit, SSM Health is ready to provide the high-quality care you've come to expect. And all our facilities are prepared to keep patients safe, in person or online. We're here. Schedule a visit today.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer. Finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit, and if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise.
Relax.
relax, unwind, remain safe and secure in a new bath, shower, or walk-in tub from Mad City Baths, Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Now during our summer spectacular sale, get a new bath or shower for only $49.95. Ask about great financing and call during this program for a free $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with your in-home estimate. And be sure to ask about virtual online estimates.
Hi, folks. Tuesday morning, Chris Brees is in for Hattie, and he says it's going to feel like the mid-90s again. He'll have the latest on this hot stretch.
And we'll tell you what's next after Madison's school board makes a decision on officers in high schools.
See you at 4:30.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. If you're looking to sell your home, now may be a good time. Data from the National Association of Realtors shows contracts on home sales jumped 44% last month. That's the highest single-month spike since the group started tracking it back in 2001. It comes after 2 months of steep declines. Experts say pent-up demand and continued low mortgage rates caused the jump. A victory today for abortion rights advocates. A narrowly split Supreme Court struck down a Louisiana law regulating clinics, saying it violates federal abortion protections. In a 5-4 ruling, Chief Justice John Roberts made the deciding vote, siding with 4 more liberal colleagues, ruling that a state mandate requiring abortion doctors to have admitting privileges at nearby hospitals violates the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision. Proponents of the law argued admitting privileges were for patient safety, but abortion rights supporters saw the requirement as a way to end the practice.
Gilead Sciences is setting prices for its COVID-19 drug remdesivir. Until now, the drug has been donated to the U.S. government, with the last scheduled shipments going out today. It will be $390 per vial for some parts of the U.S. government and for the governments of developed countries. The company says Department of Veterans Affairs and Department of Defense hospitals would get the discount. Meanwhile, the price for everyone else will be $520 per vial. Broadway will remain closed until January due to the pandemic. The Broadway League made that announcement earlier today. Refunds and exchanges are being offered for anyone who purchased tickets through January 3rd. Broadway shows shut down on March 12th, and Broadway is now in its longest shutdown ever. Cirque du Soleil says it has been forced into bankruptcy, hit hard by this pandemic. The head of the company says it's the only way to protect the company's future since they've been forced to close all of their shows recently. Now, more than 3,400 people who'd been furloughed will lose their jobs. The hope is a new $300 million funding effort will help turn things around. They're also looking to raise at least $20 million.
And a sign of some progress today, the FAA began testing the Boeing 737 MAX planes. This video is from Washington State. The FAA says test flights are just one step toward allowing those planes to fly again. The U.S. and dozens of other nations grounded the 737 MAX after 2 fatal crashes. Despite that, Boeing resumed producing those aircraft last month.
And here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a look at our work week forecast.
Well, it turned hot and steamy today with temperatures in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees, and then some thunderstorms developed just after noon. This is the time lapse from the WISC Skycam about 10 after 1, looking out toward the west, and you can see the gust front from the thunderstorms that were building up just to the west of the station. And once that gust front moved in, look at how hard the rain was coming down. Visibility was less than about a quarter of a mile. It didn't last for too long here, but we had other heavier showers come through. And then as we headed towards sunset, notice the skies in the west starting to clear a little bit. A lot of these overhead clouds were from the storms. Even as they moved eastward, that overhead canopy of clouds continued to expand back into the rest of southern Wisconsin. As far as severe weather, most of it was confined to Dane County. Some reports of tree limbs down in Monona, and a report of ping pong ball sized hail in Middleton just before 1 o'clock. But it was the heavy rain that was probably the biggest issue. You can see rainfall estimates west of Madison in the 2 to 3 inch range, some 3-inch range amounts in southwestern Dane County, just to the east of New Glarus and Greene County, around Evansville and Rock County, and then over 4 inches of rain in a small area to the east of Janesville. But you can see to the north and west, there were parts of our viewing area that didn't get any rain at all. So this is, when you're in a pattern like this where the humidity levels are so high, some areas can get, 2-3 inches of rain, and you go, 15, 20 miles away, and they don't get get any rain at all. So it's hard to tell who's going to get the heavy rain and who isn't. We just all have to be prepared for it. Tonight, the rest of the thunderstorms are dying out across Lake Michigan and the Chicago area. Some more storms firing up north of the Twin Cities. This area here picked up 5 to 8 inches of rain last night, so they don't need another drop. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Temperatures will remain in the upper 80s through Thursday with very sticky conditions continuing for a while, and then a bona fide heat wave as we head into the weekend with high temperatures topping the 90-degree mark by Friday and probably lasting into the early to middle part of next week. We have alert days in the forecast for the 4th of July Saturday and for Sunday as well. People planning outdoor plans are going to have to take the heat into consideration because highs will be in the lower 90s. Heat index values could be around 100 degrees thanks to the high humidity. High temperatures today, 90s just to our south, upper 80s here, a lot of 90s to the west with triple-digit heat over parts of western Kansas. As we look at weather track, this area in the middle, where the heat is, that's where you see very little in the way of cloud cover because the temperatures are warming up aloft, and that kind of acts as a lid on the atmosphere, keeping thunderstorm development away. There's a weak stationary front that divides humid air to much more humid air to the south and west. If you look at temperatures right now, they're in the 70s to around 80 over southern Wisconsin. It's upper 70s to lower 80s across Iowa. But look at the difference in dew points. Lower 60s here, lower to middle 70s through much of Iowa and southern Minnesota. So for tomorrow, look for a high of 85 degrees. There'll be a chance for a shower or thunderstorm mainly in the afternoon. I don't think it'll be as widespread as what we saw today. Future track shows generally quiet conditions overnight, maybe an outside chance of a shower or thunderstorm. A few may pop up in the afternoon tomorrow into tomorrow evening, then quiet conditions overnight. Temperatures stay in the upper 60s and highs back into the upper 80s on Wednesday. Again, the possibility for some showers and thunderstorms. Rainfall amounts very spotty. Some areas little or no rain. Some areas may pick up an inch or two in a short period of time. 7 to 10 day forecast. The rain chances go down beginning on Thursday. By Friday, they're gone, and it looks like dry weather from Friday through Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Highs upper 80s to lower 90s with high humidity. Next chance of thunderstorms probably toward the middle or latter part of next week. Anything to break the heat, you know, you just don't even have that in the forecast.
Right, that's July. All right, Gary, thank you.
Just ahead in sports, Craig Counsell gearing up for an entirely new kind of season with the Brewers. How he plans to handle these next 3 weeks before opening day. Zach's in next with sports.
3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hi, I'm Travis Ganser. We hear ya. You need new windows. Ganser Company is proud to introduce 80 years in 80 minutes. Simply put, you need real information and pricing. Our 80 years of hindsight for 80 minutes of your time. We give you the skinny in 80 minutes to make an educated decision.
Infinity Windows from Marvin offer a lifetime warranty and are made just for that, a lifetime. Infinity Windows don't warp, crack, or fade over time, like vinyl windows.
Remember, 80 years in 80 minutes from a local family business of 4 generations.
Where can you get top designer and name brand shoes at 60% off? DSW at Hy-Vee. We've slashed prices even more. All shoes were 50% off, but now are 60% off. That's right, all DSW shoes at Hy-Vee are now 60% off. Get 60% off all women's shoes, 60% off all men's shoes, and 60% off all kids' shoes. Check out DSW at Hy-Vee and get 60% off all shoes.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer. Finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit, and if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise.
If you have a fear of overpaying, you have FOOP. But don't worry, US Cellular has your back with the Samsung Galaxy S25G. Free when you switch, plus no activation fees. Stream without disruption, capture and post without restriction, and do it all without FOOP. Switch and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G at US Cellular. Choose fair.
Home is dancing because no one's watching. Home is a reason to disturb the peace. Home is laughter. Home is where heads come to rest. A place to let go, and a place to find again. At Stanley Steamer, we love homes, and we know that a clean home is a healthy home. We're ready when you are.
Still fresh. Unstoppable. In-wash scent booster. Downy Unstoppables.
Up at 2 a.m. again. Tonight, try Pure Z's All Night. Unlike other sleep aids, our extended release melatonin helps you sleep longer and longer. ZzzQuil Pure Z's All Night. Fall asleep, stay asleep.
Craig Counsell announces 45-man roster for the Brewers' 3-week summer camp at Miller Park, all of whom are attending, by the way. And the Milwaukee manager is in some uncharted waters this season. Not only does Counsell have to shrink that roster to 30 by opening day, he has to figure out how the team is going to hold its spring training 2.0 and everything else that's going on with the new 60 games in 66 days season. But Counsell wouldn't have it any other way.
We're all excited to get back to work, and from my perspective, this has been really enjoyable, like planning something new. So, like for us being in Miller Park, it's new, and it's been a lot of fun trying to put the pieces together of this. It does feel like there's more unknown this year, and that feels right now that's exciting, and it feels like it's going to make it a really maybe crazy trip, but a fun trip.
Can you name one running back that's done more than Jonathan Taylor has in the last 10 years? Yeah, the Big Ten Network couldn't do that either, which is why they didn't have a choice but to name him to their all-decade team. In 3 years at Wisconsin, Taylor rushed for 6,174 yards, second all-time in Big Ten history behind only Ron Dane himself. JT was a 3-time All-Big Ten first-teamer, a 2-time Doak Walker Award winner, and a 2-time consensus first-team All-American. And on the defensive side of the ball, former Badger Chris Borland was named to the Big Ten Network's all-decade linebacker trio. While at Wisconsin, Borland forced a conference record 15 fumbles while racking up 420 tackles. He was a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten honoree and named the conference's Defensive Player of the Year and Linebacker of the Year in 2013. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Happy 4th of July Super Sale, happening this week at the Brothers Maine. Come in now for more savings on more brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. We make upgrading your home more convenient at Maine with up to 18 months of 0% financing and expert-free delivery. Get more at the 4th of July Super Sale. More selection, more savings, and more satisfaction. And happy birthday, USA, from the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Now every hybrid vehicle in Toyota's lineup is available with 0% financing. With fewer stops for gas, Toyota hybrids give you the confidence to go farther. And with 0% financing, Toyota hybrids are even more thrilling. Enjoy more freedom in a Toyota hybrid. See your Toyota dealer or shop and buy online.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
Kindness makes a world of difference at the Century House. Donate $50 or more to the Second Harvest Food Bank of Southern Wisconsin and save more than ever before on stressless seating. Save at least $300 on stressless recliners and office chairs. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. There's never been a better time to help others and fill your home with the unmatched comfort of stressless seating. Be kind and save generously at the Century House.
Hey guys, what's up? Ready to go?
Yeah. Sorry we're late.
Don't worry, we'll still make it to the concert.
This is gonna be awesome. There we go.
You guys know they already put out a new album, right?
What?
Yeah.
No.
It's been all over the radio.
Wait, you haven't heard it yet? No, I haven't heard it yet. Seriously.
Play the second song. It's the best one, right?
Of course it is.
Not wearing your seatbelt endangers you and the lives of anyone riding with you.
Didn't you just wear your seatbelt?
She's not moving.
Buckle up. Every ride in every seat.
Feldco season is here, and the signs are all around us. Like free installation on all windows, siding, and doors, and no interest for 1 year. It's time to jump on that home renovation project and free installation all from the comfort of home. That gives you time to make the most of your Feldco season.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866
for Feldco.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
Traffic delays? Be the first to know with First Warn Weather and Traffic.
Look for another steamy day tomorrow. High temperature, 88 degrees, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm. Rain chances go down, temperatures go up as we head into the weekend. Alert days for high heat and humidity for the 4th of July weekend.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, be well, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
We all care, or should care, about the musicians in our community who bring so much richness, meaning, and pleasure to our lives. And our musicians have been among those hit hardest by the social distancing limitations of COVID-19. They simply cannot do what they do. Their livelihoods and their wages have been taken away, and they are hurting. The Madison Area Music Association has always cared about our local musicians, and Mama Cares has been a vehicle for helping musicians without health care or other benefits. And now, Mama is stepping up again with the COVID-19 Relief Fund. Mama is raising money to help self-employed and independent contractor musicians who are losing work and wages. Applications will help identify those most in need. The online Day of Caring is July 16th. You can learn more and musicians can apply for funds at themamas.org. We're proud to be partners in that effort.